Do you have leftover fabric from one of your previous sewing projects? Are you wanting to learn how to sew a zipper? Or do you like having matching accessories to all of your outfits? If you answered yes to any or all of these questions, then I have the perfect sewing project for you. It is a zippered pouch. And if you can't tell, I used the leftover fabric from this shirt to make this zippered pouch. And I love how matchy it is. And I know that when you're getting started sewing, zippers can seem really overwhelming, but this project makes it really easy. And I show you step by step how to put this in. So if you're ready to make some matching accessories and learn how to sew a zipper, then be sure to stay tuned. Hi, my name's Abby and I run DIY Fashion Rebel, and I'm on a mission to help you start sewing your own clothes more easily while having fun. So if that sounds good to you, then be sure to like and subscribe below so you'll be the first notified when I upload new videos. But even more important than that, head to my Facebook group. I run free monthly beginner-friendly sewing projects so you can add one new DIY piece to your wardrobe every month. How does that sound? I am so excited to see what you make, and I can't wait to see your final zippered pouch. So let's jump in and see what you need to make this project.
You need 4 pieces of fabric, 2 for the outside and 2 for the lining. You need to cut all 4 pieces of fabric to the same dimension. So all of these pieces have been cut to 9 inches by 6 inches, okay? So you can use whatever fabric you want, and you can actually make this whatever size you want. And once you have your 4 pieces of fabric cut out in whatever size you're doing, the other items that you'll need for this zippered pouch are also a zipper, and the zipper needs to be as long as the length of your bag. So here's my zipper, and it's really, really long. I didn't need to get one quite that long, but here we are. So as long as your zipper is, again, as long as the length of your bag, then you're gonna be good to go. And of course, like any sewing project, besides what I've already mentioned, you'll need a sewing machine, thread, seam ripper, all the normal things for any sewing project. I'm only going to work with one piece at a time, so I'm going to grab one and put the other one to the side as well. And I'm going to grab my zipper. So I'm going to take these little silver points at the end and line them up with the other edge of my fabric, this side, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to open this a little bit, okay? Flip it over so the zipper is facing down. I'm going to line the silver point up with the edge of this edge of my fabric. And then I'm going to line this edge of the zipper tape up with my piece of fabric, okay? Now that I've got that edge pinned in place, I'm going to throw it on the sewing machine. So the first thing we need to do is change out this presser foot. This is a universal foot. You're going to grab your zipper foot, and a zipper foot looks like this, and it has only one little chunk of metal in the middle and these 2 little indents. Now what these indents do is that's where your needle actually goes. And then the sides are what presses up against the zipper as you're sewing, okay? So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm gonna take this, and I need to pick if I'm gonna set the zipper foot on this side or that side, depending on which side of the zipper I'm sewing. So once you have your zipper foot attached, let me get mine back in, okay? Once you have your zipper foot attached, you're gonna wanna check the position of the needle in regards to your zipper foot, okay? So you don't want this needle to hit the zipper foot. So you want to adjust the position of this. That's actually as far over as my machine will go, which it's okay. Let me try the other side and see if I get anything better. Okay, now that's perfect. If you can see that the needle is sitting directly in the middle of that notch, okay? And that's what I want. So now that I have the needle lined up with my zipper foot, I'm going to grab my piece that I'm working on. I'm going to slide it in here. Okay, now I'm going to go to the very beginning. And these teeth on the zipper, they are thicker than the tape that it's attached to. So if I turn it sideways, you can kind of see that the teeth are bumped up like this, okay? So they sit higher than the tape and they create a little bump right here on the end, that bump right there, okay? So I'm gonna press my zipper foot right up against that bump. So if I put this down, I'm gonna put my zipper over here and I'm gonna lower my presser foot. Like I can set it on top of the foot, on top of that, the teeth. Or if I move it over just a little, it will sit down right next to that bump, okay? And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that I'm constantly pressing this zipper this direction and bumping it right up against the edge of my zipper foot, okay? That's what this is designed to do. It's designed to run this flat edge. It runs parallel right up against the edge of these zipper teeth. And that's how you get a nice close zipper, okay? Now, the only other tricky thing that people run into is right here. So now you can see that my presser foot's gonna run into my zipper pull. Uh-oh. So what I wanna do is hand crank this so my needle's down in my fabric. Then I'm going to raise my presser foot, and my fabric can't go anywhere because the needle's down, okay? So no worries about anything shifting. Then I'm just gonna reach under here, grab my pull, and I'm gonna pull it to the other side, okay? Now, this can be tricky. It can be very, very tight. So just wiggle it, go slow. It will eventually go through, okay? So, yeah, that's how you take care of that. And now it's back here and it won't get in my way again. So I'm just gonna put my presser foot back down and I'm gonna continue sewing. So once we have one side fully attached, we're going to do the same thing on this side, okay? So what that means is we're going to grab the other side of our outer bag, okay? And we're going to, again, do the same thing. So here's the right side of the zipper, with the right side of my fabric, and I'm gonna line it up right on top of there, lining up the edge of my fabric up here with the outer edge of that zipper tape. Now, what's important here is that as you line up this edge, you also want to make sure that your two squares are lined up as well. This is going to ensure that your zipper is even on both sides of your fabric, okay? So I'm just going to throw this on the machine and do the exact same thing that I did last time. So now that I have sewn both sides of the outer material to my zipper, I'm going to grab my iron and pull these fabrics away from the zipper and iron this down. Press it out and make it look really nice and finished, okay? Once you're in this position, you're going to grab one of your lining pieces and you're going to line it up on top of this whole thing. Again, right side facing down, okay? So I'm just gonna line everything up. I still have the same rectangle, okay? The same size everywhere around. So I'm just gonna line all the edges up. Okay, pin it, I'm gonna throw it on the machine. Okay, so once you get done sewing that piece, you can come and, so we sewed this, you can come and lay it down and you'll see that now what's pretty cool is that this is the lining and we have the outer piece here. And both of them have been sewn so there's no raw edge here and there's no raw edge here. Everything is hidden and it looks really nice. So the last thing we need to do, or almost last thing we do, is we need to attach the other piece of lining. So we want that piece of lining to go right here. So the first thing I want to do is grab this zipper and I'm going to fold everything under, okay? So now it looks like this. Great. Now on top of this piece of lining, I'm going to put the second piece. And I'm going to line everything up. So everything's lined up. This is a little bit out because I have the zipper open, but I will pull that into position when I sew it. But now that everything's nice and lined up, I'm going to pin this in and throw it on the machine and sew it. Again, I'll go right along here, pressed up against those zipper teeth using my zipper foot, okay? So now that we have both the linings in and the outer fabric, everything attached to the zipper, the last step as far as the zipper is concerned is to do a top stitch. Now a top stitch is a row of stitches on the outside of the fabric. Right now we actually can't see any stitches. Everything's been done on the inside. So if I open this, here's our stitch lines. Here's the things that we've sewn so far. But we're going to do a line of top stitching. And again, it goes on the top of the fabric here. And the point of the top stitch is to keep our fabric away from the zipper. I'm sure you've had bags where the lining has crept up like this. And then when you try to open the zipper gets caught in the lining and you can't open it and it's annoying. So to avoid that, we're going to top stitch. So I'm going to throw this on the machine and then that will be done, okay? Okay, so I still have my zipper foot on here, but this time I'm going to line up the edge of my teeth here with the edge of my foot here. So that way I have a little bit of a distance here. It looks a little bit nicer when I sew it. You can already see it on this side. So before you start sewing, you want to triple check that you have 2 layers on this side and 2 layers on this side and everything's nice and flat, okay? You don't want to sew anything in wrong now. That would be really unfortunate. Okay, so once we have everything right and we know it's in position, we're going to drop, okay, press our foot and then reverse stitch. And it's really important that you keep this nice and lined up the whole way down, because if you move it, you will see the stitch line, so you'll have a wavy line if you don't keep it nice and straight, okay? So now that we have the top stitching done, we're going to open our bag about halfway, so that way it's open, you can reach in there. Then we're going to grab the 2 outside pieces and bring them together. So I'm going to grab these 2 top pieces, I'm going to fold them up like this, and pin those in position, okay? So we have this side pinned in. Now we want to continue this down to this side, but the trick here is to make sure that the zipper itself is folded in half. Okay, so this is what I want it to look like. I want the zipper folded in half. So there's one tape and there's the other. They're folded in half with the teeth, one more time, with these teeth facing towards your lining, okay? So once you have that in position, grab a pen and pin it down so that way everything stays where you want it, okay? Okay, and do the same thing on the other side. Lay this all down flat. Then everything should line up into this nice rectangle like this, okay? And that is how we're going to sew all of this together. Perfect. Okay, now once this is all pinned in and we have this really nice flat rectangle, the last thing I need to tell you is that we're gonna sew around the outline of this, okay? So we're gonna start here at this pin and we're gonna go to the edge, all the way up, along this side, down, and just here to the edge of this pin. You wanna leave the space between my fingers, you wanna leave that open, okay? Because we're actually going to take this whole thing and flip it inside out. So all of this stitching that we're doing will be hidden inside of the lining, okay? So again, you're gonna sew from here all the way around the edges, just leaving this space between my fingers open. Here's where I want to show you the trick for this, okay? So you're going to run your needle right up to that corner that we made, like this for this dot right here. I have my needle sitting right on this position on this side. Now, I can manually move my needle using this, the hand wheel, so that it's down into my fabric, okay? There we go. And once it's down in my fabric, I'm actually gonna lift the presser foot and turn this, so now this is straight in line with my needle, okay? Easy peasy. Okay, so now that the bag has been turned out and all the corners, I've pressed my fingers into them, they're nice and rounded, they look good. The last thing we need to do is fix this hole that we had here for turning everything inside out. So if we pull the fabric down to where we sewed it, so it's folded back on itself right here, and we do that on both sides. So I pinch the fabric right there. Then this part in the middle where the hole is, where we haven't stitched, naturally kind of falls in the same fold as the part we did stitch. So I'm just gonna set it down just like this and iron it so I have a nice crease right here, so I know exactly where to do my stitch line for hand stitching this closed, okay? So finally, you can take your lining, push it nicely into the bottom, into your bag. Again, pushing in those corners, which you can't really see me doing, but that's what I'm doing. And there you go. You have an adorable pouch for whatever it is you want to use it for. But yeah.
Yay! How did your zippered pouch turn out? Was it easier than you thought it would be? If you have questions, concerns, something I could do better in these how-to videos, let me know in the comments below, and I will make a future video just for you, answering your questions. And now that you've finished your zippered pouch, head to the Facebook group and share photos. I want to ooh and ah over how gorgeous it is, and I want to know, what are you going to put in your zippered pouch? I keep pens in here for journaling, but you can keep whatever you want. And now that you've finished your zippered pouch, you may be looking for another beginner-friendly sewing project to jump into. So why not check out one of the ones on screen now? They're totally beginner-friendly, and you can always ask questions about them in the Facebook group if you need to. Whatever you decide, happy sewing!